Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Life After. Firstly, I just want to really thank everybody who's liked, shared, followed the page. Please keep doing it because it's not only helping people. I'm getting messages of support left, right and centre, messages of people reaching out about how it's sort of enabled them to have the confidence to speak about issues they're having, and I'm truly humbled. Really cannot thank you all enough. So today I'm joined by a guest who the subject is geared around the riots which occurred near the Holiday Inn not so long back. I'm sure those locally in Tamworth will be very familiar with it. And we're gonna have a bit of a discussion around that today. So Darren, thanks for coming on.
No problem at all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I want to take you to the part, to the start really, and ask you what sort of made you want to attend the protest?
You'd heard weeks prior to this, you heard a lot of media, a lot of people making comments on social media about various alleged immigrants living in the Holiday Inn, stalking women, children, in the castle grounds. My daughter was one of them, and when it happened, I went down with a friend of mine purely out of curiosity to see what's going on, see what was said, and that's where it all started from, to be honest.
I think, look, no one could have imagined what transpired would transpire.
Yeah.
The police have been firm. The government have cracked down. Should we say there's been examples made? And I think, we're going to go on to sort of discover that you were one of them. Had you known what the risk element was attached to it, I don't think a lot of people would have gone. Describe to me what it was down there that day.
Well, we got there at about 10 to 7, and there was probably about 350 people there, and it was all pretty quiet to begin with.
What time did it all start? I mean, it was in the evening, weren't it?
Yes, it was 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock start.
Well publicised. It was going to happen.
It's everywhere. People put it on social media. Everyone knew where it was. The actual car park was rammed with people over the walkway. It was very busy.
Did it have the feeling like it was going to go off, or was it more a case of sort of people just being there as a presence, or did you feel that it would go further?
No, obviously to begin with, no. Everything seemed quite calm. Everyone was just having conversations with themselves. People started moving forward towards the police line, which is level with the Holiday Inn door, at about 5 to 7. And I was silly enough. I was very busy on my phone, doing work, doing some quotes.
Okay.
And I was still talking to my friend. Met a friend down there I hadn't seen for a bit, chatting to her, and I got carried away with my work on my phone.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And we actually moved forward with everyone else.
So you're sort of being took with a wave. You're kind of oblivious of what you're doing because your head's down. It's a bit like going on your phone when you're in a bit of traffic. I suppose we shouldn't do that, by the way, but still, it's...
I'm always on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always on my phone, and it just went over the crowd. There's a line of police just past the doors to the Holiday Inn, and I turned my back to them. So the police are behind me, I'm in front, I'm on my phone, my friend's to the left of me, my other friend's just over there on the other side, and I'm on my phone. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, video evidence of that helped me. So my phone did help me, and everything happened so fast, and I just heard loads of people shouting, and it got more vocal. As I looked up, I saw a guy chuck a brick into a window.
Right.
I looked back down to my phone, and within split second, this copper, big guy, had literally come from behind me, ran me out of the way. I almost lost my balance. I came around, spun round, shocked, fear for my safety, didn't know what the hell was going on. And I said to him, "What are you doing?" He pushed me in the chest. Another copper had the baton next to her. Ready.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Okay.
And all I did then, I reached across by him to grab my friend, pull her away. Gone. That was it.
Leads me on to a question. Do you feel that in that moment, why it escalated was people geeing each other up? So if you like, you had a lot of young lads there. I'm aware of, and you know how people like to get famous and like they do down the football and all the rest of it. Or was it an element of enticement from the police?
The police, like for me, being pushed for no reason at all.
Because
Right.
they were. Am I right? These immigrants were in the window watching you
Taunting.
guys, and
Taunting.
taunting. Yeah, I
taunting.
didn't want to use that word, but yeah,
Immigrants are literally taunting.
yeah,
And there's loads of people who were on social media filming on TikTok of what was going on. But at the same time, late after I found out that the immigrants were doing the same thing on social media.
I saw this, and I think I want to say it was in Liverpool where there was a sort of a wall of police, and the police were purely facing the UK citizens, if you like.
Yeah.
You had the immigrants stood behind them,
Yeah.
quite closely, if you like, close enough to aim a brick,
Which it was as well there.
and the bricks are coming over, and the police aren't looking there; they're just staring straight ahead.
Yeah.
Which, you know, and again, I wasn't there that day, thankfully. Otherwise, we'd have been roommates. But no, on a serious note, like I say, it just seemed like it was just one way. I think there was one in Stoke shortly after Tamworth, and it was just consistent in that.
It was. Like I said, there was a line of coppers. My back's to the copper, and behind the coppers, before I turned my back, there was immigrants there in groups of 3, 4, 5, who were basically shouting things to all of us, and nothing was done.
Madness.
The coppers were there to basically come after us, as if we're in the wrong, to basically vouch our opinions, try and protect our own community, our own town. And that's what it was. You know, a lot of police were moving off to individuals, and there's other individuals trying to have a conversation, and the coppers weren't having any of it. Back up, go away.
Yeah,
You know,
it's almost. I think to a degree it was preempted by the police in the fact that, well, we're going to have it here, sort of thing, because they talk like that. Be honest, and let's face it, you know, they see it as abroad as well sometimes. Okay, so it happened. What prompted you to leave?
I left that immediately. Left that. I didn't want no. I didn't want no part of that. I was shocked. Moved that away. I stood back and I watched what was happening after with my friends. You know, I thought that'd be the end of it. I said to my friend, you know, that cop is such a dickhead. Why has he done that? There's no reason to do that, dickhead. And that was it. And I didn't think anything would come after, you know, knocking my door sort of thing.
So you went home.
Yeah.
How many days passed before you were arrested?
So that was Sunday. It was Friday morning. You know, 6 o'clock Friday morning. I'm asleep. My son's asleep, and knocking on the door. You know, I'm asleep. Is that a dream?
What time?
6 o'clock in the morning. So I looked at the ring camera. It's not a dream. I've got 5 guys outside. Don't know if the police.
Yeah.
They're all plain clothes. So
okay.
So I went downstairs, opened the door. I said, "Yeah, can I help you?" Very abruptly, he tried to push the door open. Darren Woodley. I said, "Who are you?" He said, "We're police. You're arrested for violence and disorder." In that sort of tone, straight away, pushed the door open. And is there another Woodley here? I said, "My son, Jack Woodley," he said. I said, "Yeah." 2 coppers went upstairs. We've got American XL Bully, fully licensed, neutered.
Yeah.
And they was too busy then to try and look at that dog. Oh, is that dog neutered? He's got paperwork. Show me your paperwork. At 6:05 in the morning,
Let's have another.
we're getting arrested.
Let's add another charge.
And let's have another charge on your dog.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell they were peed off
Yeah.
because that dog's all legal.
Yeah.
You know, so my son was arrested. I was arrested. The house was searched.
Yeah.
I gave him the item. I said, "Yeah, this is a t-shirt I was wearing. I'm wearing the shorts now. Put my shorts on. Is that okay?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "They're just black shorts. That's a t-shirt with a logo on. I'm not hiding nothing because I've done nothing wrong, you know." These are trainers. I said the trainers I had were red. You know, later on I found out I was mistaken. Those black trainers, and it had a pop at me for lying about
6 o'clock.
trainers.
6 o'clock in the morning. Your door's just been almost bounced off. I think you can forgive yourself for forgetting what pair of trainers you've got, mate. But and again, you know, they will pick up on anything, and I'm sure that they made more of that than what it was.
It was like my granddaughter lives with us 50% at the time as well. I'm only 3 years old, so she was there. So, you know, she's frightened of what's going on. You got 5 strangers in the house. My daddy, my granddad are being arrested. We had to call, you know, my daughter. She had to come out to take my granddaughter away. But I had no respect.
Well, I was going to ask how accommodating with that then that process. So, for example, you know what's going on here. you're then flashing back to the moment thinking, shit, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I did have, shall we say, contact with a policeman, whether that
Yeah.
be from him to you or you to him. Were they quite sort of understanding the terms that you needed to make arrangements, or is it a rushed process?
Rushed process.
Yeah.
I said to him, I've done nothing wrong at all. I said, one of your colleagues pushed me.
Yeah.
I've done nothing wrong. It's up to us. You're coming down the station. You're going to Cannock Station. You can sort it there. You're being arrested.
And I was going to say, you can say what you want in that moment. You can be as convincing as you want. It doesn't count for anything.
Okay, no.
As soon as you're in the interview room, that's when you're, and I think that's when it's harder to be sincere because you're thinking all sorts.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about being in custody.
Oh, well, yeah. Gets to Cannock Station. My son went in one car. I went in the other, and that was horrible. Both being arrested at the same time. I can't help him, and he's sitting in one side of the station. I'm in the other. He's been processed. I was processed. He goes to a cell, and I go to a cell. And he was like, at disbelief. What am I here for? What is going on? My son's done nothing as well, you know. And you're trying to, in your head as a dad, look after your son.
Of course,
you know. And it was just confusing. I was in a cell. For about an hour.
Also worrying about what the granddaughter saw.
Of course,
you know, there's all sorts going on.
You know, in a cell for an hour and a half, according to the interview.
Yeah.
This female CID, she was on a promotion trip. How she was like she was convinced that I was guilty. You are guilty. You were lying to me. You was guilty. You was violent. You acted in a violent manner. So she showed me the video.
Can I just stop you there? So I remember you sending me a video, and it had a tune over the top of it, and I think it went along the lines of
TikTok, wasn't it?
That motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker. I mean, my son was sat there laughing our heads off to it. But yeah, it was ironic that you put that tune with it. But I guess that's how they've made you feel a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I put it on TikTok. You know, corruption, guilty.
Yeah.
You know, the police want to make you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Want to make you guilty. Want to charge you. Off the tick list. Another one gone. You know, in prison, and that's find the next one.
Well, I explained, I've got a business, and above my business is a pretty well known solicitors, and it was like a revolving door, mate, for a couple of months, and everybody who attended, I'd pass them in the hallway, they had that look on the face, they knew they were going, because they set a precedent that, you know, regardless of whether you're, shall we say, a bit involved, quite involved, or well and truly fucking involved, you're going.
Yeah,
doesn't matter, and that's where, like, you know, I think that's where the inconsistencies kicked in. Okay, so was you charged there and then?
Yeah, I say she showed me the video, and it was from the officer's body cam, which was edited, so he didn't show prior. My back was turned to him. Okay, it didn't show any of that. All it showed was I'm turning round to him, my hand reaching across by him to grab my friend out the way.
I hate to tell you this, it was Kevin who edited it. Joking.
You only 12 weeks.
Yeah, go on.
And and as I turned around after he pushed me, which wasn't shown in the video, and I explained this, but she wasn't believing anything I said. She said no. She slowed the video right down, frame by frame.
Yeah.
So every facial expression is there. It's amplified. See, you look angry. I said, "What are you doing?" I've just been pushed from behind for no reason. She goes, "No, you look angry," and I made a joke.
Yeah.
So I thought this was getting so stupid, it can't be real. I said, I need more Botox. And she didn't find that funny at all.
No.
She said, it's violent disorder. My solicitor sat next to me, and he laughed about it. He laughed. He said, this is rubbish. You've got no evidence.
They probably saw that as cockiness in a way. And I think that's sometimes, you know, you try and make light of the situation knowing that you're innocent. But again, it can sometimes go against you. Or if you're too cooperative almost, you know, I know all about it. So what happened after that then? You've had your interview. They've kind of made you think you're guilty. You're thinking they think I'm guilty. It's guilty. So what happened then?
So then I'm put in the cell. The sergeant saw me. I was asking about my son, and I didn't know my son was released Saturday morning until Saturday evening, released on bail, pending further action. So they didn't keep me informed, even I kept asking about him.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night, they interviewed me. The sergeant said he has his powers to extend for 36 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
So because of the evidence, looking for more evidence. And so I'm back in my cell because of the stress, and I'm suffering from mental health from losing my business 8 years ago. You know, I had depression quite bad, medication, come off all that, but I still I'm still very sensitive to depression and mental health.
Your mate's enough to set everyone off, isn't it? Let's face it.
Going in there, you know, your son, your family, what the hell's going on? You're here, you know you've done nothing wrong. And you're in the cell, I felt claustrophobic. The officers made you feel like a criminal. They made you feel you are guilty, you know, and looked at you with like spies you, because apparently you've assaulted one of their officers.
You've watched my podcast, and I've been on the other end of that firsthand in terms of being made to feel very guilty, and you know, as much as they're supposed to be impartial, the feeling of when, if you like, things go the other way and you're actually proved innocent.
Yeah.
Well, they're ever so nice, then, aren't they? And it's just sort of like, you'd rather it just be consistent how it's supposed to be, because look, they're supposed to not have the personal sort of side of it involved, but it is right. And I'm sure that if they could, and I'm sure it happens, you know, they'd give you a real good idea. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the feeling that you get.
100%.
Okay. So were you bailed?
No. I had the pleasure of staying in till Monday morning. So from 5 o'clock, I got to Cannock at 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So I stayed there.
So what hour are we at here?
It was 7 a.m. I got to Cannock Police Station on Friday.
And you've been in custody for how long?
I went to Cannock Magistrates Court at 9 a.m. on Monday.
Have you hit your 32 hours then?
I've gone over. Yeah, it's 36 hours.
36
hours, 72 hours in total, wasn't it?
Yes.
72 hours.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had...
So they've gone for the extension then?
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing that, well, almost trying to make sure you're charged almost.
Yeah.
Is that's the aim, isn't it? Yeah.
It felt like it was breaking me, trying to break me. You know, I'm saying not guilty. I've had 2 panic attacks.
Yeah.
I've been monitored by the medics there. My blood pressure from Friday afternoon till Sunday evening, which I wasn't monitored on Monday morning before I went to court.
Yeah.
200. My blood pressure hit 200. Red, critical. It's dangerous. You know, you're fucked, right? I had a panic attack on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I kept ringing my buzzer, asking for help. An hour and a half, I was pressing the buzzer myself because I felt I'm going claustrophobic, panic attack. I haven't slept.
Walls are closed.
They gave me diazepam on a Saturday night. Didn't touch me. And some idiot behind the counter, behind a desk, copper or one of the helpers, whatever it was, kept turning the buzzer off. So wound me up even more. I get wound up now thinking about it.
Yeah.
And finally came an hour and a half. She called an ambulance. I had a panic attack. Ambulance came, paramedics came. Took them about 20 minutes, half hour to calm me down, give me oxygen. Blood pressure was 195 over 146, I remember right. Bad. Took me to the hospital. I think it was Wolverhampton I went to. Took me there. I was there for about 7 hours. Checked my bloods, monitored me, checked my heart, ECG. My blood pressure was still up for about 4 hours. To calm me down, medication, and told the basically the prison that I've got to be monitored. This is stress related, you know.
Didn't you tell me before we came on it, you had a heart attack?
Yeah. Not just yet. Bear with me. I've still got blood pressure.
Oh wow. Okay, we're coming on to that.
Yeah. So I probably slept about 3 hours in 72 hours. Diazepam, paracetamol. The police doctors keep you in paracetamol, and that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
They even to be honest, one copper was okay. I said, look, I need fresh air. I feel suffocated.
Did they not have a little square yard where you could?
He let me. I went to Utoxeter. The Cannock Penkridge on the A5.
Yeah.
And there's a little courtyard. He let me sleep out there for 2 hours. It was the only decent copper there. He said, go outside, fresh. It was starting to rain. I said, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I can't escape. You know, I can smell weed. You've got a shed behind it, and I was getting stoned by smelling the weed. That's what it felt like anyway.
You probably needed it.
But yeah, so that was that. And then obviously Monday I went to the Magistrates Court.
Yeah. So no bail?
No bail. No, nothing at all.
Why?
They said they got enough evidence to charge me with violence and disorder.
And that point you're thinking, what evidence? I'm sure. Yeah. Which is where it all starts to feel a little bit corrupt and, if you like, unjust. but for you, uncertain.
Yeah.
So how did they charge them with violence and disorder?
Well, it was Cadet Magistrate.
I mean, they can't do it just from a picture saying you look angry, because I mean,
Really? Well,
I'm just saying. I mean, you might tell me different.
right.
You're gonna have
We
that.
obviously all my family were in the court. I get to court. Obviously, I'm upset. I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Hoping, praying for justice. Hoping someone's seen sense that I shouldn't be here. I'm going to get at least bail.
Yeah.
If not dropped. I goes into court, and they literally, the video I described to you was literally 30 seconds, if that. And the judge turned around and said,
That motherfucker's guilty.
yeah,
This is something putting the tape.
put it on, yeah, go away,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
I don't
no,
like
go
it.
on.
He needs a haircut or something, no. Yeah, you're going to prison.
So, in terms of the feeling then, because I imagine that you've got quite a lot of hope that that's going to be the last of it.
Yeah.
They say take him down.
Yeah.
I've never been that far, so forgive me, but I imagine that's what happens. How did that feel?
Wow. You know, I've never been in trouble with police. I've never been to prison, and to look, see my family, see my kids all crying, hoping, praying for the right answer. Dad's coming home. I when I said, no, take him down, distraught. The kids were crying. I left crying.
Did they actually tell you there and then how long you were going for?
No. So take him down. We're going to remand you.
Right.
And we're going to send it to the Crown Court.
Right.
So, distraught. I came back down. Emotional, as you appreciate, upset, stressed, anxious, disbelief.
Confused.
Everything. Yeah. What the hell's gone on? I've done nothing wrong. I've been to this protest. I've done nothing. My hands in my pockets. I've not assaulted no one. All I've said to this copper, what are you doing after he pushed me for no reason? This is not making sense. This is a stitch up. It's corrupt. And I'm in my cell. I'm stewing over things. And one of the prison guards, said the next paddy wagon van is here. And I asked, have you got the glass room cabinet box, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
Not the metal ones, because I'm feeling claustrophobic.
Yes.
Don't want it being closed. If it's a glass front, I probably might be okay. No, you're going to have to wait then for a couple of hours. Okay, fine. Half hour later, 45 minutes later, I've worked myself up. I'm thinking, everything. What's the worst outcome? How long am I going to prison for? I can't believe this is happening. My kids, who's going to look after my kids? If anything happens, I'm the dad,
What at that point? Because again, I know that it's staggered in terms of the sentences, etc. And I'm just thinking about, I saw the people that were throwing things through the window. God knows what they must have got. But what was the maximum you were looking at? Or did they?
For when I found out later, when I spoke to the solicitor, he turned around and said, minimum for being there, as I was, because they thought I was a main instigator. They thought I was a danger to the public. And for being there, part of a disorder is having 4 or more people in a group.
Mm-hmm.
You look at a minimum 2.5 years. And I'm thinking 2.5 years, I'm sitting in a cell thinking 2.5 years. What for? What for? I've done nothing.
What have you?
Yeah, what have you done? For no reason. He's come out to me, assaulted me. So obviously going from my head, and I got emotional, and I felt like I'm in a panic attack. It's a small cell, and I just couldn't believe what's going on. So I'm pressing the buzzer. She came out. I said, I need some help. She goes, why? I said, I felt bad. I had this panic attack. And she wasn't particularly bothered. Just give me some water. Whatever it was, 20 minutes, half hour later, I'm pressing the buzzer again. And she goes, you're not well. No, I'm not. I'm sweating. I can't breathe. I've got pains in my left arm. I've got pins and needles. And yeah, they got the paramedics, and the paramedics came out. Blood pressure was 195 over 150. Couldn't breathe. Put a monitor, put the heart monitors on. And one of the paramedics said, yeah, you've had a heart attack. Just boom, started crying.
Had you had a heart attack before?
No.
So yeah,
Always been fit in the gym, martial arts, all sorts, apart from, having depression, mental thing, not physical.
So it sounds as if you were just in a state of sustained panic,
Yeah.
and then the pressure cooker sort
It
of burst.
just blew, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Blew. They took me to the hospital. I was there 12 hours. ECG, my potassium was up, which is stressing your heart.
What happens is that like the TV, you got two people stood there with you, or an officer stood there with you?
Oh wow, yeah. I'm not going nowhere, you know. I'm thinking I've done nothing wrong. Yes, okay, it's your job.
Not in the move for a sprint down the corridor.
Seriously, I couldn't believe it. Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm there on a stretcher. I'm handcuffed to a copper. I'm handcuffed to the bed. We're doing ECGs. You know, the nurse saying, "Can he move? Can you move his handcuffs?" No, we can't. So she's doing this and doing that on me, taking blood tests, and this just.
How are you supposed to calm down in that? So I don't know what the syndrome or the the what it is that happens when you have your blood pressure took. Your blood pressure always goes up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain a low blood pressure when you're having. So you must have just been through the roof.
Yeah.
You're handcuffed to a bed, and ultimately, you're going to prison.
Yeah, my face was a beetroot, you know. And when I did get to prison, my name was Daz, aka Red,
Yeah.
because of that. They did everything they did for me in the hospital. They sent a letter to the prison saying this guy needs medical attention, regular ECGs. He needs blood pressure tablets and monitored. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I two officers from the prison from Utoxeter, Dovegate, Remand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's category B.
Yeah.
Two decent guys, to be honest. Young lads, absolutely fine. No bone, no chip on his shoulder. Nice guys.
And it does show, because I mean, look, I've got my view on the police, and we've had scenarios near my house, and there's been police there, and my back goes up, and my missus sort of says to me, "Look, Bill, they're just doing their job," but you get this feeling, don't you? Whereas there are some decent lads in there, aren't there, and ladies in there, or you have to say that.
But I think it's getting few and far between now. It is. It's getting less and less decent.
Well, especially around a subject like what's going on. But yeah, it's a case of let's go and club them and drag them in. It's all a bit sort of brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so time to go to prison then.
Yeah. I'm in an Uber.
Oh right.
Go into prison. I'm don't forget I'm his.
Who just get everything now, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Every job.
But don't forget, I'm on his dangerous men that would re-offend front row going in an Uber. Okay, not a paddy wagon or anything at all. I just remember coming down to the big red gate. I was thinking Postman Pat for some reason. Red. I was hallucinating. I was
going to say your red's gone.
I'd gone. I was fried. And I came in. I went into this big, massive. Wow, what is it? It's a prison. It looks like a holiday camp from outside. It's that big. Like Havenside or something. Never experienced anything like that in my life. And I'm taken in. And to be honest, it's 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and everyone I spoke to, officers were there. They was absolutely fine, decent human beings. They tried to make you feel reassured.
Yeah,
which is the first time I've had in 72 hours.
I mean, the way you've got to look at that, you've got the bobbies on the beat who ultimately are there to nick people.
Yeah,
have to be quite brutal, forceful. These guys are almost. I suppose they've got to get into your head a little bit and try and calm. Well, you needed calming down specifically, so they've got an element of counsellor about them and making sure that you're mentally sort of absorbing what's going on.
Some of them, yeah. Later on, we'll find out. Yeah.
Okay. So, what happened then? Because again, I've not really ever spoke to someone who's been to prison. It's not something you really bring up, is it? But what was the process? Was it just sort of straight to the counter and then into the? Or...
Straight to the counter.
Yeah.
Strip searched.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole strip search. Cough, everything. And then here's your grey tracksuit bottoms, t-shirt, some trendy grey trainers. There's a towel. There's a toothbrush. There's a toothpaste. There's a bit of soap. There's a shower gel.
Because you don't get all that when you're in the holding centres, do you?
No, I get nothing.
So at that point, well, I'm staying now.
Yeah.
And they're giving you the amenities, and it's all real.
Yeah, it is. And I'm walking through what seemed never-ending corridors, of this place, not knowing where I'm going. And I came to Block 3, H Block 3. I was like looking around, it's massive, and you got already the fencing round and this is not real. It's not. I'm here. What have I done? You know,
You sound like you were calming at that point, though.
it was. I was tired.
You're knackered, yeah.
Yeah, I was tired. I've had 3 hours sleep since Friday. You know, totally exhausted, shocked, and felt like I'd given up. I'd given up, and he showed me to his bed. I went through the prison, through the prison cells, the wings, up the stairs late at night. With torch, an officer showed me around with a torch. This is your room, N33, a single room. And I look around, small room. There's your little bed. That's a little shower. There's your TV. Got one chair, graffiti all over. I'm looking around, thinking, wow.
Just you in that cell?
Yeah. This is my life. And I just sat in a chair and cried.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I can't, but yeah. Okay. Where next? You need a rest. But I imagine it weren't that simple.
It was the alarm. Oh, the alarm went off about 7 o'clock. What I'm thinking, what the hell's this? You know, I've been asleep for literally, it feels like a half hour.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep in my chair. And so the doors are opened. And the officer comes through. Good morning. Shuts the door. Off we go. So I opened my door. I'm looking round, and everyone's going downstairs. Stupid me. I just think it must be breakfast. You know, no, what's going on? So I'm going downstairs. I follow everyone else to the ground floor, thinking, okay, is there a restaurant or something, a coffee shop? No, nothing at all. Everyone's sitting there drinking coffee. I'm thinking, well, where's this coffee from? You know, and I went back upstairs, back in my cell, shut the door, and sat there in disbelief until an officer came a few hours later. They said they're moving cells, and he said,
You say what?
yeah, he said safeguarding. You're on safeguard. I said, what's that mean? He said, we believe you've got a threat, your own threat to your own safety. So it's duty of care to look after you.
So I mean, when you hear that, that's normally something that you'd expect a sex offender or someone that's, you know, like you would say, high risk.
Yeah.
You know, if they know what's gone on with you, surely you're a bit unlucky, really. Is the word I'd use, but certainly not a high risk person.
A high risk person because I've came in with a violence disorder. And also at the same time, they said, we are safeguarding you for your own safety, and we believe that you need someone in your cell to share with you. We don't want you self-harming.
Okay. Again, you know, it beggars belief, doesn't it? But I suppose the next question would be, how was it in there in terms of the guys, the inmates? How did you find mixing? Because I suppose there comes a point, and again, I'm only imagining, where you have to sort of bite the bullet. Right, I'm going to be staying here. I may as well get to know people, because walking around on your own can't be too much.
It's no, and as I moved cells to go and share a cell, which at the time I didn't want. I said, look, I'd rather be on my own. You know, I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm upset. I'd rather be on my own. If I want to cry, I'll cry me, and I don't want to cry in front of another guy.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
You also show weakness, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they say, isn't it? Yeah.
And I said, no, you got no choice. And as I went in the cell, two guys come up to me, obviously not seen him before, and said to me, all right, mate. He said, you're a big guy. I said, okay. He said, do you want to do Black Friday for me? I said, what's Black Friday? You not heard of Black Friday? No, mate, I've not been inside before. Oh, Black Friday is when people don't pay for canteen, so we'll pay you to go and beat them up. I said, no, mate, it's absolutely fine, thanks. I don't want to get involved in any of that. You crack on.
And I take it that isn't Black Friday like normal Black Friday?
No.
So yeah, that's every Friday?
It's every Friday, canteen.
Right.
If someone doesn't pay up on a Friday with their canteen, what they owe,
yeah,
because drugs in there are rife, you get someone to beat them up. You know, and no, I'm there. I'm not. I don't know what I'm here for. I'm here. I don't want to get involved in any drama. I want to just go to sleep.
Can I just say something? So you were, if you're like alerted there that you're a fairly well built guy, I suppose there comes a point where you sort of almost want to, if you like, not play up, but just sort of uphold that image, as in, don't come near me. You know what I mean? It's not like I've never been to prison before. Don't hurt me. It's tricky, isn't it?
It is.
You know?
It is. And as the days went on, yes, you're dying inside, but then I realised I'm not going to show this to anyone. It's a weakness. You can't show weakness. For a guy to show weakness anyway, it's a mental health issue.
Yeah.
We don't like saying we need.
Because you mentioned to me as well that you did martial arts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, didn't know
you can handle yourself.
Yeah.
But you don't want to.
No.
You're opening a can of worms, aren't you? Let's face it. Yeah.
Especially over the last 7 or 8 years, I'd rather be a talker.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want grief like that. Yeah. And I'm walking round and keeping myself to myself, just following the crowd. You line up for your food and your drinks. And
did you bump into anyone else who was in there for the same thing?
Within a week.
Yeah.
Loads of people.
I suppose you could tell by their faces. Ultimate looking beer. Yeah,
That's right. Everyone said that.
Yeah, well, I
what you're in for, everyone said that. It really was.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, I was there for the first 6 weeks was hell for me. Hell. The blood pressure, not having the right medication. They didn't give me no medication. Chasing it. I had 2 panic attacks. Taken to hospital on 2 other occasions.
So it didn't end there.
No. They're useless.
Really?
They're useless. Absolutely. There's no support. It took them on the 7th week. They gave me blood pressure tablets, which helped straight away. Okay. During the first 6 weeks, I kept myself to myself. There's one incident I remember in the laundry room. It's a small room. You got washing machines, your tumble dryer, and you do your own washing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to it anyway. But I put my washing in. Took it out, chuck it in a dryer, walk away, come back about half hour's time. I came back, my washing's on top still wet. So someone else is washing in there. So I took the washing out, put it on top, put mine back in.
The games begin.
Yeah, and this guy coming to me, he started mouthing off to me. So I lost my temper, verbally. And I thought, okay, he's left me alone now.
What did he say?
He said, mate, what the fuck are you doing in my clothes? So I said, mate, my clothes are in there first. Fuck off.
Yeah, okay. Stood your ground.
Yeah, too right.
Yeah.
And I went to 0 to 100, bang, like that.
Yeah.
And got the washing dried, off I went.
Yeah.
And I went back to my cell. I want to get out of here. Let people do what they want.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Because if I'd hit him, here we go. It proves violence disorder. It proves the court are right. I'm here for a reason.
You become the animal they're making you out to be.
Yeah.
Difficult question. What's the worst thing you saw in there?
Wow, two people. I was a talker to begin with. I talked to people. I helped a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got empathy. After my mental breakdown myself 8 years ago, I had a lot of empathy. So I like talking to people. And I got a good connection with so many people. It doesn't matter if there was a murderer, if he'd committed car crime, drug crime. Everyone there is on the same. You're in for a reason.
Well, I was going to ask that. Is that something that would be brought up, or was it kind of common to? Could you look at a guy and go, right, I know he's in for that?
No.
Okay, so you're talking to people, level playing field. You don't know who you're talking to and what you're talking to. With all due respect.
One time I was in the medic centre, sitting there, and this guy was chatting away to me like you and me talking now. Nice guy, like yourself.
Yeah.
And he said, I served 15 years for murder, and I went back out, and the guy who grasped me, I killed him, so I'm back in for a second murder. Wow. Okay, nice to meet you. Seriously.
No, it's right.
You do not know everyone. As it made me more non-judgmental because everyone's got a history. Never judge a book by its cover because it's good, bad, evil. You don't know that person.
So apologies. I asked, what was the worst thing?
A guy hanging himself, and I had to go and rescue him. Got his rope off his neck, gone blue. On the balance on the railings on the first floor, and 2 days later I walked past a cell. Guy was screaming. Other inmates had walked past, and he was cutting himself up with a tin of tuna blade off lid off a tin of tuna. Cut himself up, so blood everywhere. I goes in, gets his arm behind his back, yanks it out of his hand. It's fight or flight at the time.
Yes.
I want to protect, look after him. Got it off him. Officer came in, blood everywhere. And then as adrenaline wore off, what the fuck have I just done? I could have been slashed.
You had a bit of a reputation already then, as a person who sort of, tries to help people, which is great. So by this time, you still don't know how long you're in for?
No, not at all, not at all. No, we'd gone to that was the first 4 weeks. First 4 weeks. We'd gone to Crown Court, and sorry, the first time I should have gone to Crown Court, I got to the medics. My blood pressure was sky high.
Yeah.
Had a panic attack. The fear of going on the van, going to Crown Court, seeing my kids there, didn't know what to expect. I had a massive panic attack, and they said, "Don't go, don't go." They told me, "You're not going." Okay.
Yeah.
Back to my cell. 2 hours later, 2 officers come to me and said, "I'm nicked." And I said, "I'm in prison and you're nicking me. This is what? Is that funny?"
Okay.
"No, you didn't go as you was told to the court."
Yeah.
And I explained, like I just did, what I was told not to. I had a panic attack, which is uncontrollable. Another officer told me to go back, but you should have gone. Formality.
What do you mean you should have gone? You
should
should
have
have
gone.
drive the car yourself.
Because it's on paper, it's a written law that I have to attend the court.
Okay.
Because I didn't, I had to go to what inmates call the Mickey Mouse Court, Mickey Mouse Police Station. Right, so I get walked by 2 officers all the way across the prison, and there's a little court police station where the governor sits all proud of himself, sitting there suited and booted with his little officers around him. And I had to go in and explain why I didn't attend court, and he adjourned it for investigation. Wow. 2 weeks later, I get called back, and he said, "Right, we've taken into consideration. We understand that you had a panic attack and you cannot attend. However, because you failed a direct order from a previous officer to go to court, we find you guilty." And I sat there. I'm guilty for having a panic attack, and I can't go to court. And your other officer told me to go back to my cell, and he'll send a medic to me, but that medic never arrived, and I'm now guilty. But we're going to suspend the actions against you, which would be loss of privileges, loss of canteen for 2 weeks, or loss of visits, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
We'll suspend it for 30 days. So next time you have to go to court.
Right.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So, were you sentenced there and then?
No.
So you're back again.
This was inside the prison.
Okay.
Inside the prison. Yeah.
Prison. Yeah. So
Inside the prison. I've gone back to my cell. I've
Yeah.
now been found guilty inside the prison for not going to court because I had a panic attack, and now the court, the actual prison, have said I've got suspended 30 days for no canteen. Do it again. I lost my canteen.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay. The court itself was adjourned for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is the 6th week now, and we go to court. I managed to get on. I go on there. It's still anxiety.
I suppose regardless how you feel,
I've got to go. I've got to go. I've got no choice. I've got to go. I've got to go. And Crown Court, and thinking, well, these aren't Mickey Mouse shopkeepers who do magistrate court. This is okay. Believe in the justice system. This is proper Crown Court. It's going to be a judge who's fair.
Yeah.
Again, the same video was played. He actually looked at the video, and he could tell.
And this is the full video. This isn't just the image of you looking angry. This is everything that.
No, it's a 30-second video. Same video. Same video. The same video. Yeah.
So you kind of know
what's going on.
What's coming.
Yeah. He looked at that, and he can tell by his face, his expression in his face. What am I looking? What am I watching?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
As in to say what's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosecution. They said, we believe Mr. Woodley is very violent, violence disorder. We think he'll do it again. He'll reoffend. The protests are still going on. He was one of the main instigators. He was front row.
Because I've seen the actual video where obviously it clearly shows you did nothing wrong, but you are at the front, aren't you?
I'm the front, yeah.
You say you've been drifted there, and that's gone against you.
Yeah. And because of that, again, my family's there, my kids are there, and everyone's hoping, and turned around and said, "No, we're not giving you bail. We're sending you back down to Dovegate. You'll stay at Dovegate, and your court trial date will be the 20th of January, 2025.
Anything else happen in prison between then and that date?
Right, yeah, well, some good.
You're getting used to it, I guess, in a sense.
I've gone back. We've had 3 bail applications in total denied. One was the medical health, because how severe my depression, anxiety, my blood pressure, everything was.
Yeah.
They denied. The other bail application, again, we thought we had new evidence. We showed them the video of what I showed you, the proper, my evidence.
Yeah.
No, we've got more evidence on you. And the other evidence came out. They've got 3 seconds of me clapping with no audio. I clapped for 3 seconds, and that was it. That still made me a danger to the public, so I'm not getting me bail.
They're saying you're celebrating the right.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're painting a really convincing picture, aren't they? And I suppose in the way that they do it, you know, the professionals, they're good at their jobs, I suppose, and they can make you look really guilty. And I suppose, do you know what? And again, I'll go back to the point that I made about, you know, you build and stuff. You look like someone that likes to have it. Do you know what I mean? And that probably doesn't sort of help. Although I've seen, you know, kids with 6 stone wet through sent down and all sorts, but I just don't think. I think the stats are. We spoke about this before we came on. I don't think they've let anyone get away with it, have they? I don't know.
As far as I'm aware, I was the only
Small
one.
number.
Yeah, the only one, or as far as I was aware, that have got away with no charge, with no evidence against me. Yeah, on the 25th of October, the CPS actually turned round and say to the judge, "We have no evidence, Your Honour."
So this is the last time you go to court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're going back to court, you're probably thinking this again, being made to look like an animal again, being made to feel guilty again. Are you feeling optimistic or?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
You know, not at all.
Okay. So explain to me what happened that day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I correct myself, to be honest. I didn't go to court. I refused to go to court because I said to my solicitor, no. On the 23rd of October, the solicitor has said, has sent my daughter an email saying the CPS have got no evidence on your dad. And
They said they haven't.
yeah, of course, yeah. They said they have, but now on the 23rd of October, they actually emailing saying we've got no evidence on your dad. That come from my solicitors. So we want him to attend on the 25th. And I said to my solicitor, no, I'll have video link. I'm not going to court to be rejected again.
Yeah.
And he arranged it. So it was a video link on the 25th. So I go into the courtroom in the prison, video link. And I'm sitting there and the judge on TV. And the prosecution said to the judge, Your Honour, we are withdrawing the charge against Mr. Woodley of violence and disorder. And the judge, which is the same judge I had 4 other times, you know, one who hated me, one who thought I was guilty, scum of the earth, everything. And he said, why? There's no evidence. And he turned round on the camera and said to me, Mr. Woodley, I do apologise. I've not given you bail up to now. I've gone with the facts I had.
Yeah.
Against you. I thought I was under the impression you would reoffend with the evidence I have, and you was a danger to the public. I apologise. He's the only one to apologise so far. The best part, I thought I'm walking free here, and then they turned around and said, "But Your Honour, we're going to charge Mr. Woodley with assaulting an emergency worker." I'm like, what? And he actually said, "Can you clarify assaulting an emergency worker?"
Yeah.
And the prosecution turned around and said, "Yes, Your Honour, words." Your words? She said, yes. What are you doing? What are you doing as I'm being charged with as assault on the copper?
Okay.
How do you plead? Not guilty. Simple as that. He said, right, okay, the trial of 20th of January will stay.
Yeah.
And we'll go forward with the charge of assaulting an emergency worker by words only. You're free to go. And the feeling, I've never felt so happy, ecstatic, unbelievable to get out. I went out shouting, screaming. The guards all knew what was going on. By this time, you know, I had an amazing rapport with nearly every inmate, with all the officers.
Well, you didn't want to go home.
it, it's a no, seriously, it's a mixed
Yeah.
emotion. I'm a helper, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'd had such a bond with a lot of people talking to them, and I realised that a system in prison is fucked up. There's no you're set up to fail. You go in there, there's no help. Why do you want to learn a guitar? Why do you want to play chess? Okay, you have to do your basic maths and English to see where you are in prison. You have to go in. You get paid £1.50 to do it. Okay, it's all about money. There's no. I used to work in probation for 2 years, and so you deal with probation. You know the inmates, the service workers come out to you at probation, and you help with a plan to rehabilitate.
Yeah.
You put them on courses, right? But in prison, this doesn't happen. So why haven't the government put plans in place in prison for this to help people in there? Whatever the criteria, it should be in there helping people.
Well, and look, it's well documented, isn't it? And that's why people can't reacclimatise when they come out after a long stretch, and what they know is what they know, and
Yeah.
evidently, you know, the return is more probable than not. Okay, so they've apologised kindly. You were in there for
12 weeks.
12 weeks, long enough. What happened next?
Yeah, you go back to your cell. You were packing. You were going home. You know, and everyone's shouting and applauding you, and fantastic. You know, and I was lucky. And
So they were happy for you.
They was happy for me.
Because I mean, you get it in your head, don't you? You better think, oh, fuck, you're going home or mostly, you know. But they were sound.
It's one of them. I lost a couple of decent pad mates, cellmates, pad mates. You know the term pad.
Yeah.
They went. I'm left behind. So you get that feeling. You're so happy for them to go, but you're sad you being left behind. So you see both sides, you know. And I worked hard. In prison, I got a job in the servery serving food, you know. So I was always busy doing something. After the 7th week to the 12th week, you know, I realised after having 3 bail applications denied, you know what, the system's corrupt. It's fucked up. They're all liars. The copper's a liar. The courts are liars. Everything's just screwed over to get against me. So you know what, I'm not guilty. You know what, my kids were behind me all the time, and yeah, they've been amazing.
Yeah, I can see you getting emotional, man. I don't blame you.
All
So,
right.
yeah, I mean, look, it sounds as if you almost accepted it at that point, but you know, fortunately, you were going home. The thing that comes to my mind when I sort of when we agreed to do this podcast, I thought, you know what, this is stony ground, because people don't like the truth being told about subjects like this, do they?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rage on social media, isn't there, in terms of, you know, what's being hidden or not being spoke about, almost sort of like the glaringly obvious untold truths. And you know, I imagine you've not just left it there.
No, not at all. So when I came out, everyone, you know, was hugging me, shaking my hand. Inmates, the screws, the officers, whatever you want to call them. You know, I had respect. I had caused no one any aggro. And as I came out, I was so happy, but also mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Because I'd made so many friends and helped a lot of people in there, realizing, you know what, so many people, no matter what age, have got no one. And I was so fortunate. My kids were sending me money on the canteen. You know, I didn't go without anything from the kids, you know.
Yeah.
But so many people have got no one and nothing, and there's no one there to help them. So I left there happy, confused, sad, angry, a mixture of all different types of emotions.
But they're treated as if they're out the way, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're out the way. You're a hindrance, and now you're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think, you know, and you must constantly, how many other people has this happened to?
Yeah.
You know, what percentage are, if you know, because I've seen the videos and some people are guilty, some people have done the wrong thing, but there's got to be a huge.
But of course, you say, you know, guilty. Yes, okay. If someone's guilty, if someone's, for argument's sake, not correct, not, you know, condoning it, I chucked a brick. Do they warrant 6 years for chucking a brick?
Absolutely.
When you get your rapists and your paedophiles, you know, on bail, You know,
I think
it's all gone wrong, hasn't it?
the way I look at this is like this. So they knew it was going to happen. It was publicised. It was almost shoved down their neck, as in terms of the police. They were sort of almost put on alert. In their minds, they stood there going, "Go on then."
Yeah.
And when people did,
Yeah.
boom, the book's going at them.
Yeah. I came out. I came out, and
I was going to ask that. What's now? What's going on now?
so yeah, I came out, and for a good couple of months, you know, totally emotions are everywhere. Depression, anxiety, I had PTSD, waking up in the middle of the night, seeing what I saw, experiencing sadness, 1 minute breaking up, crying. I lost a good contract, a work contract over in Birmingham. I've lost that. I was a good earner because obviously I've been away, took someone else on. My security, my SIA badge, that was suspended through governing bodies. I didn't get that back till the end of January because even though I'd been released from prison, I was still pending a court trial on the 20th of January. So the whole lot was taken away from me financially, mentally, my family, everything. But what's happening now?
All for saying, what are you doing?
What you do after being pushed, yeah. So what I've done since I came out, I put a claim into CPS.
Yeah.
I put a claim into the police.
Yeah.
Because I believe I was assaulted by that copper, unlawfully pushed me using unreasonable force, unjustified. The CPS, they came back to me and said, no, you was lawfully arrested. And there was 5 justifications why they stated they had evidence, why they charged me, remanded me, and wanted to take me to trial. They had 5 stages.
And they had nothing.
My turnaround to that, which is now stage 2, which has gone to top dog, is, well, you had no evidence in court. You submitted, we got emails saying you submitted no evidence on me. You really dropped all charges. You had no evidence from day one. You lied. The government has caused all the corruption throughout the courts, the CPS, the police. CPS were given 6 weeks from a government fact, 6 weeks to get evidence, to prosecute, to charge, get you in nick, or you lose your job. 6 weeks. You can't get your time back. You know,
Exactly.
and I spent 12 weeks. To me, it's a long time. People who've spent years wrongfully convicted, I feel so sorry for them. 12 weeks, I came into my house. I said to my son, "Where's that fridge come from?" "Dad, you bought it before you went to prison." It blows your head. It blows your head.
Yeah.
So I want recognition from the police. That copper should be sacked. You know, he lied in his statement.
Yeah.
He said that he was under threat. Missiles, bricks, fireworks were all being chucked at him before he pushed me in the back. Second paragraph, the guy, he described me at mid-40s, thank you very much, was doing nothing on his phone. So he stated I was doing nothing, but he lied, saying he was under all this stress and attack. That happened after. So a copper lied, and I'm harrying for that as well.
Yeah.
And it's gone to the ICPCO. So I'm fighting I'll keep fighting.
So the theme's gone from guilty to lies.
Yeah.
You might say.
Yeah.
Listen, I think, you know, everyone will agree. It's a sad story. It's still a sad story because of what you've been through, and I'm sure you're still going through. It's an angering story, and it's something that symbolises a lot of what we're all seeing out there in the social media. Almost sort of just confirms what we're all thinking. But I thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for letting me on. Thank you.
Cheers, Daz.
Thank you.